Last round saw all new winners, none of those drivers being in the playoffs. Tonight starts the round of 8. Will we see one of these 8 drivers punch their ticket for a chance at winning the coveted trophy? You guys will have to tune in to find out, but tonight is going to be a fun, crazy night here at Chicagoland. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eliza Bethel alongside Jordan McGraw tonight. How you doing out there, Jordan?
I'm doing just great.
Glad to hear it. So I know that you and I both were practicing Chicagoland out here. How is the track conditions feeling for you?
Track feels really good. It's pretty well balanced. It's a little slick on cold tires, but that's basically every car on iRacing, it feels like. I have to say, even on the long run, the car still feels pretty neutral. Maybe even gets a little loose on the long run. So overall, really, really happy with the way this car drives, and I think these drivers are going to feel the same way.
I agree. I mean, it is so much fun out here, you guys. It's got a lot of grip there. I mean, there are some slippery spots out there, but nothing like what we've had to contend with in the past. Now, I can tell you, though, with that being said, that is going to bring out a little more aggressive driving. It is so fun. You can really take it anywhere out on track. So we're going to have to watch for these drivers with elbows out. We have 8 drivers in the playoffs. We did have 12 last week, so that has been cut down to 8. The pressure is on, but right now we're out here in qualifying. We have a lot of drivers out trying to make that lap. We have Jimmy Cocker, Micah, we have Tom Flitcroft, Jarrett, Luke Allen. So we're going to find out what these guys can get on the board.
Yeah, interested to see how the slight change in time and temperature affects the car's handling between practice and this qualifying session. If there's a little more grip, maybe a little less, a little more speed, a little less, who knows? We'll see. We're about to find out.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of drivers go up top to try to get that fastest lap time. So far, we have Josh Taylor with a 31:12. You see him kind of taking that mid and then goes back up to the high side, trying to get those fast lap times. We got Brody Folliker. He is out there in the purple, meaning that he's got the fastest sector or part of the lap for this oval. So we'll see what he can do. Matthew Opliger, he is out there, was on pole. He moves down to third. Jimmy Cocker goes straight to the top with a 30.75. You're going to see some very, very close lap times, and no surprise there. They are extremely close so far, Jordan.
Yeah, to be able to put down those 7s, you have to really be getting it, especially off of turn 2 where the car seems to be its lightest. That's definitely a tricky spot, and these drivers are really testing the grip of the racetrack and the car in that certain spot of the racetrack.
I want to say a shout out to you guys in chat. I see you out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got Chloe, we have Evan, Mindless, we have Maddie. I see you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Jimmy Cocker at the top of the board with a 30.75. Joe Berg in second, which gets moved down to third by Francis Hamilton, who I can tell you was the fastest in practice. He's got a 30.77. We have Tom Flitcroft in fourth, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in fifth, Justin Anisagak, he is up here in sixth, Brendan Book in eighth with Matthew Opliger. He moves out to seventh, Josh Taylor ninth, And Brody Folliker, he is out there in the top 10. Justin Anasagak, he is out there with another purple lap right here. So we're going to find out what he can do. Will it be good enough to take out the pole from Jimmy Cocker? It's going to be close. No, that second part of the oval, not good enough. He goes up to third, though, improving his lap time, tied with Francis Hamilton, 30.77. Brendan Book comes to an end with his lap run. Dylan Robb, 16th. Jose Ruiz currently sitting 17th. It looks like he is still on a run out here. Green for him, which means he's in the good for himself. Has not beat out any lap time yet. We'll see what happens. 30.754. That moves him up to P12. All right, Jordan, tonight, who do you think are going to be our biggest movers up here? Who do you think's going to win?
Who do I think is going to win? That's a loaded question.
It is. I gotta start it off by asking the loaded question.
I mean, you can see Jimmy Cocker with that fast speed on the board right there. Really have to expect Jonathan Jurgesmeyer, Matthew Opliger, some of these other guys who are toward the top of the running order back at Kansas. Have to imagine they're going to be fast this weekend as well as that 4 of Justin and Asagak. So a lot of the same figures that we saw at Kansas. This is sort of a similar type of racetrack, not exactly the same, but have to imagine they will be the ones to watch tonight.
I agree. It's going to be a lot of close racing up there. It's going to be a fun one for sure. Months. Silent, I see you out there. Thank you so much for the sub. 7 months. How about that? These guys are getting ready to go to the warm-up. Silent, again, I appreciate that. That is awesome. We see a couple of drivers out there so far. And with that being said, we got to take a look at the track analysis for tonight here at Chicagoland. We're going to have 150 laps. No faster pairs, as always. That has not and will not change this season. For the stages, stage 1 is going to be 35 laps. Stage 2 will be another 35 laps, with the final stage being 80. They should not have to pit for stage 1 and 2. We got about 54 laps on a fuel tank. We'll see if they can go that far on tires. So I'm assuming that these guys will have to go in at least once, maybe twice. If there is a caution out, maybe they'll come down pit lane. We'll see what happens here. But 4 sets of Goodyear tires to get those on that car.
Yeah, one similarity we don't want to see to Kansas is the deluge of yellow flags that happened that evening. Hopefully we can see some more green flag racing than what we saw that night here at Chicago.
Absolutely. I think so. I have all of the faith, right? Pete, I see you out there. Thank you so much for the sub. 14 months. You guys are crazy. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Pete, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're all healed up. And we miss you out here. Yeah, we hope to see you back soon, but take care of yourself. Big Papa Bear, I see you out there. One of our drivers, Michael Campbell, doing a great job. We'll see what these guys can do. We got Kevin Dallator taking a field trip through the grass out here. While we're out here, we got to take a look at the playoff drivers. Justin Anasagak up 21 points above the cutoff. He's sitting top of the board. Brody Folliker sitting P2, 9 points above the cutoff. Jimmy Cocker sitting P3, 6 points above the cutoff, with Brennan Book sitting P4, just 3 points above cutoff as we start this round of 8, but that is going in if we went into the round of 4 heading into the championship race. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, he's going to be 3 below that cutoff, with Francis Hamilton in 6, Luke Allen in 7th, and Josh Taylor in 8th. And you're going to see these guys in the blue skirts and labels that you're going to see out here so that you know they are playoff drivers. But again, Pete, yes, we miss you too. Be back in January. All right, can't come soon enough. For sure. All right, warm up. We still have a couple of minutes out here. Francis Hamilton still top of the board. And I'll tell you what, Jordan, again, I've mentioned this before, but his improvement this season and throughout these seasons has just been incredible. Same with Luke Allen. I mean, he's up there right behind him, 30.81. What do you see them going into these final few races? We're going to see top fives, top three maybes?
I mean, it just depends on how these races go, but they certainly seem to have the pace to run up in the top five and battle for podium positions. But of course, where some of these other guys have that advantage is they've raced up toward the front and week in and week out. Some of these drivers like Anasagak, Book, Cocker, some of these other drivers that you typically see toward the front, Allard. So you expect them to be able to run well, and these guys like Hamilton. You've seen Luke Allen be able to finish races. Francis has struggled maybe just a little bit more, but that's what you expect to do. Is then you have the pace, you have put your way up there. That's part of the battle, but then you have to finish. That's the more difficult thing. You find the pace, then you have to find a little bit of luck and some of the racecraft and other things that'll help you stay toward the front during the portion of a race.
As a driver, I found it difficult with pit stops. It's challenging for myself to be able to go in at that just right on the line of being too fast and making it just in. You got to be absolutely perfect going into pit lane. You got to be perfect heading into your pit stop, your stall in there, and then you have to make sure that you get out just right. So it is kind of a challenge for me, at least, to be able to do that. So I lose a lot of time just going in and coming out of pit lane. And whenever I do actually nail it, I feel like iRacing is like, well, we're just not going to fill your fuel like you wanted. And then I get shorted a lap or two going for the win or going for the top three. We've been there a couple times. All right, let's get this going. We have the grid coming up here. Looks like Jimmy Cocker is going to be out there on pole for FIWB in that 11 machine. On his outside is going to be teammate Francis Hamilton in the 48. Row 2 is going to be Justin Anasagak in that 4 car with Joe Berg to his outside. Row 3 is going to see Brendan Book with his Tom Flitcroft to his outside. Row 4 is going to be Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in that 00 with Matthew Opliger in that number 20. And in row 5 is going to be Josh Taylor in that 2 machine with Brody Folliker in the 42.
Stephen Maggio will roll off 11th. John Honeycutt on the outside of row 6. Connery Cunningham will start 13th with Jose Ruiz alongside him in row 7. Luke Allen and Jarrett Cardwell make up row 8, while Forrest Smith and Michael Allard are in row 9. Row 10 is need to get that reordered. Dylan C. Robb in 19th with PJ O'Leary on the outside.
Row 11 is going to be Andrew Sanford in the 37 with Philip Bridgman in 22nd. In 23rd, we're going to have Robert Holder in that 66 with Chris Karch in the 40. And P25 is going to be Mike Campbell Jr. in the 71 with Kevin Dallator in the 92. And last but not least is going to be 27th, Hunter Johnson in the 30 machine. Why does it feel like they are just flying? I think they're excited to get out there, too.
Yeah, the pace car is moving. Interesting to see Hunter C. Johnson starting dead last, sort of his modus operandi to start in the back and plow through the field. And then Micah Allard with a rough qualifying lap. He's a driver that you would expect to be toward the front. He's going to have to work his way up through the field as well, rolling off 18th.
It's like these guys will... a very late entry from
green flag,
pace car
green
here,
flag.
but we are green here. Chicagoland Speedway, 150 laps. Let's go racing. These guys already side by side, and you can tell the type of racing we are gonna see tonight as these guys are just 2x2 all the way through. What a race so far, Jordan.
Someone getting loose in the back there. Can't tell who that is in that black car with the yellow bumper, but or the yellow front skirt there. But a weird start. Hamilton actually beat Cocker a little bit to the line. Looks like he let up just a little bit to let Jimmy by in that 11. So Cocker able to get the good start out front. Hamilton in P2. Justin and Asagak, our entire top four with Joseph Berg are single file, but it is side by side from their back.
It's going to be very interesting to see how these guys use that apron. I feel like it's going to have some tire wear involved if a lot of these guys are taking advantage of that. We'll see how it goes. If you guys are not aware, it does have quite a bit of a break as you go down there. So we'll have to see how often these drivers use that. But Jimmy Cocker out here in front, his teammate Francis Hamilton behind. And they are starting a two-man breakaway. Justin Anasagak trying to make his way up there with a lot of drivers in tow.
Yeah, Berg finally able to clear Flitcroft for the 4th position. They were side by side. A lot of drivers still using that middle lane. There is a lot more speed up there, but if you want to save your tires, you want to be on that bottom line, wrapping the white line through the corners. But so far, it looks like almost 3 wide, battling for 5th.
Let's take a look. The 42, the 8th. We got Brennan Book sitting P6 currently. He's got the 20 underneath him, the 42 diagonal to him. Tom Flitcroft, his teammate for C Motorsports, going to try to take it up high, but not enough momentum. He's going to fall back just a little bit, and these guys still too wide all the way through. Welcome to Chicagoland. This is absolutely insane.
Yeah, up front, it looked like Jimmy Cocker went high through 1 and 2, then kept the high line through 3 and 4 to allow his teammate Francis Hamilton to lead a lap. Not sure if that was the goal, but that is the result of that move. I imagine he's going to let Francis lead a little bit, their teammates, get that extra point, try to do what you can to get both of you into that next round with that extra bonus point. So it's a little team maneuvering while they have this gap over 3rd place and the remainder of the field.
Yeah, good strategy for these guys as they are in the playoffs, going to help teammate out, saying lead a couple of laps, go for it. We need to get moving, though, because we got some company coming up behind us, and that is going to be Justin Anasagak as he's sitting P3, and he's trying to make his way up there. He's got Joe Berg, Brennan Book, Matthew Opliger, all right behind, and then we're going to see back here. It looks like it's going to be about 2 wide. That's going to be the 50 of John Honeycutt, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer directly in front of him. So these guys, a very, very crowded field, and there are some playoff drivers involved in this one.
Yeah, Micah Allard, one of the drivers I mentioned pre-race, rolling off 18th. He's already moved up 6 positions. He's battling for that 12th position at the moment. But it looks like that battle we were just looking at gets a little bit single file, but they get a little bit bottled up off of corner exit.
Looks like that 00 does have some right rear damage on his machine. Yeah, I'm not sure quite what happened with that, but someone made some contact with him. Hopefully does not affect his car, but these guys too wide as Mike has taken that high side. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer directly underneath, and you see Brody Folliger right ahead of him in that 42.
It'll be interesting to see how he got that damage. It looks like just maybe a little bit loose near the wall, tagged it. No, it looks like the spoiler is straight, so most of that looks fixable, if not all of it. Should be okay, but he'll be looking forward to the stage break to get that looked at.
A lot of movement in this field. These guys really looking out for each other. You see guys going underneath the apron, trying to gather all the time that they can to make a move on someone else. And as they move up the track, you see the driver that is above them kind of take the steering wheel, move it a little over to the right suddenly. Everyone is kind of looking out for each other currently, and a lot on the line. This is the round of 8, the first race in it. You can't afford a mistake. If it happens, you're not going to be the only one involved. There's going to be probably quite a few others, especially at a track like this.
so far, our entire field really close. 18 drivers still within 3 seconds of each other that last time around. So very tight racing here in the early going. We're 10, 11 laps in, but everybody's still within striking distance of our lead.
Yeah, kind of single file line out in this top 4, but quickly going to change the tune for that. Here they come down the backstretch. Listen to that. You see a couple of drivers trying to dive it down low. One of those was going to be Micah. We'll see where he goes. Matthew Opliger is going to make up a move here. Brody Folliker in 9th. Micah is going to be in 10th. These are rounding out the top 10 drivers. Lap 12 of 150. Still a ton of racing left here in stage 1.
Looks like Francis Hamilton has moved up a half lane. Our leader, a little bit of a late entry, got down near the white line through 3 and 4, but ran around that first seam through 1 and 2. Not sure if that is by design, maybe trying to find some speed. Maybe he's running a defensive line. Maybe he's giving his teammate a little bit of clean air. Maybe it's a little bit of all of the above. But he is one of the first to not be battling for position, really, to try to move up and find some speed in a little higher line.
Francis Hamilton, you can see him down there trying to get to that white that is going to save those tires. Meanwhile, a couple other drivers going to go around the corner just above that seam. More of a comfort thing for these drivers, but man, the grip out here is just above what we've seen previously. So much fun, and you can just see these drivers can take it wherever they want.
It looked like Cocker got a little tight, but Francis had a really shallow exit, which, I mean, that's kind of what you want. You want that shallow exit that's taking care of your tires, but the way it looked like Jimmy was headed straight to the wall, but that's not at all what happened. He's good, but still, and basically our entire field now in a single file line, first through about 22nd, all on top of each other.
All right, Jordan, strategy play. We're coming in the end of lap 35. Now we know that we can get around 54 laps on fuel. Are you going to take tires at the end of stage 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's me, I've got to take tires. I've got to take fuel. There would be no point to go on those tires for 2 stages.
Really, the only place you could even think of that is if we shortened this by a full mile and we put it to about 10 to go, and you gave me about 4 or 5 cars between myself and the first car with fresh tires, then maybe I would consider it. But now we have a battle for the lead. The 4 of Justin and Essegak has really turned up the wick on his pace, and he is starting to work his way through the field. He is on the outside of Francis Hamilton after he's dispatched Jimmy Cocker. Now he's looking for the lead on the 48.
Yeah, such a huge power move on the outside of Jimmy Cocker making his way through, and now on the outside of that 48. Struggling a little bit to try to make it fully past, but 48, he's still got a nose down there as he's on the low side. That four car will get a nice run coming off the exit, and there he goes. He's going to be out front. He is our new leader.
A lot of speed shown. Is it too early, or is it just right on time? Now he has control of the race, and it looks like Francis Hamilton may be starting to struggle with the handling just a little bit, as now his teammate is starting to work on him, trying to take that second position. Joseph Berg also looking like he wants to capitalize, as well as the 5 of Brendan Book.
Yeah, you know, we talked about Francis Hamilton earlier. He's found the speed. That's what he needs to do, but now he needs to concentrate that into the long run. He needs to make sure that he's got what he can do to save those tires and be up there when the laps come down to the wire and we head to the end of stage 1, stage 2, and for the race win. If he can do that, we're going to see a win from him before this season is over, and there's only 3 races left after this race tonight. You guys in chat, let me know, who do you think is going to win tonight? We've seen a couple of different leaders. Justin Anasagak, he's got Francis Hamilton on that high side, really trying to get back that position. He liked it out front. He liked the clean air. And we're going to see him try to make it back out there once again. But Jimmy Cocker is under attack by the 93, and he's going to fall back another spot, this time to P4.
Yeah, it looked like the 48 was starting to struggle, but now he's picked up the pace once again, and he is on the attack of this 4 car. The 11, it looked like, was going to start working his way forward, but he looks like he was struggling as the 93 has gotten around him. Our front 4 leapfrogging each other, exchanging positions, playing some musical chairs in the front 4 positions. Meanwhile, the rest of the top 10 still static from what it's been for the previous 10 laps or so.
I'll tell you what, that high side is really nice, and it does feel very solid. Trying to run that on the outside, you get some fast lap times. I know you went over a spot, I believe it was in 3 going into 4, a bump that can just shoot you out into the wall. So these drivers...
Speaking of wall, Opliger in the wall, and the 20 gets a little kiss off of it. Not very hard contact, but he's going to end up losing a couple of positions. He got blocked up there by the 5 of Brendan Book on the front stretch, and he tried to use that high line to make the pass. Not able to do so, and in fact stepped over the line and tapped the wall just a tiny bit.
Yeah, we're going to see that a few times. I mean, there is that spot. You cannot control where your car goes once you hit that bump, and I'm curious if that's what happened there. But Brendan Book, you can see really catching up to the bumper of Jimmy Cocker. You see Joe Berg on that high side. Very, very close battles throughout this field. Chloe says she's rooting for Tom Flitty, maybe Justin Anasagak. She's not sure, but let me know, guys. Who's your driver? Pete says Justin... a knock. I like that, Pete.
And Justin Anasagak from Alaska getting to see some sunlight, something he won't get to see a whole lot of here in these winter months. So enjoying that in the cyberspace before the sun goes down in our race here this evening.
A lot of stuff going on here. I'm trying to see where these guys are, but Jimmy Cocker had a lot of stuff going on. We've got Brendan Book underneath him. Steven Maggio directly behind him. Joe Berg, we're seeing him start to fall back a little bit. Meanwhile, Brody Folliker, he's moved up 3 spots. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, he's down 6 spots to 13th. My oh my, can I say that? Micah, he's out here 8 spots gained for him, sitting P10.
And I really like the way the 81 has or not the 81, the 61 has run this race. He got through a lot of the field, and now he's kind of found himself a little spot away from everybody. He's run his pace, run his laps. I think that's the goal. Whenever you miss qualifying just a little bit, this next stage is probably going to try to get to around that 5th position, maybe into the top 5, and then from there he's in an attack position if he has the pace to go for the win. But Francis Hamilton, speaking of battling for the win, not letting Justin Anasagak getting away, continuing to fight, continuing to put the pressure on as he is looking to the inside.
Yeah, even with these guys battling, they are having a little bit of a gap between them and 3rd place, which is Jimmy Cocker. So these guys having a heck of a battle out here. And take a look at this. This is going to be for P6. You got Joe Berg, P5, Brendan Book out here in 6th, Brody Folliker in 7th. These guys are just on top of each other. 2 playoff drivers side by side. Not one of them willing to give up just yet.
Caution's out. Can you look at those temps real quick, bud?
Oh, sounds like Hunter C. Johnson involved in an accident here that will bring out this yellow flag. We'll see what happened.
Go on board with him.
Oh, bad net code. Well, you've seen that. This is like what happened with me at Vegas.
Man, that's stunning right there. Yeah, a lot of net code for that.
But that's also if you're that driver in front, if like that is bad net code, it's a good net code, but there's still 125 just from being in that position earlier this season and getting hooked head on into a wall from netcode. Like there's really not any reason there to be side drafted through the center of a corner on lap 27 of the race. If you're Hunter Johnson, that's what you're feeling. But if you're Luke Allen, you're just running your line trying to
Take what you can.
race and get what you can.
Yeah, unfortunate circumstance. Man, Hunter Johnson just crab walking down pit lane. You know he's got a lot of damage to fix on that machine. Not a lot of luck for his last few races in SnB, so I know he's got to be frustrated. He is a part-time driver, and then on top of it, he's going to roll over a little bit on his pit stall. Not going to matter, though, as he's got to fix all that damage. But Justin Anasagak, he will be leading us back to green as we are under yellow. We'll see if these guys do go in, though. Francis Hamilton in second, Jimmy Cocker third, Stephen Maggio fourth. Joe Berg gonna round out your top five. Looks like 20 on down. Did go into pit, Luke Allen included, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. So quite a few drivers take to pit lane.
Yeah, if you're struggling here, you might want to pit and then take it real easy on this restart. Try to conserve as much tire as you can, and then flip it at the end of the stage. But if you're one of these leaders, if you're in that battle for the points, in trying to get into the final four, into that championship race, then you're gonna try to take all the points you can and stay out here for the stage.
Absolutely. I do want to have a chat with Mr. Francis Hamilton. Quite a race out here tonight. You've looked so incredibly solid. How is your car feeling out here?
Yeah, she's feeling good. A little loose, a little tight, but we're working at it. Hopefully, maybe get a stage one here, but we just want to keep it up front.
Yeah, just a few laps left in that. I don't want to keep you out here too long as I know you're going back to green, but a solid looking car. I had to get you in here real quick and just say good luck. We're cheering for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, you heard it there from Francis Hamilton. Just such a huge improvement for him. I know he's got a lot of competition out here up front. You see those top three drivers are part of the playoff drivers, so these guys all going for it. At the end of lap 35, we will have the stage one caution here.
Yeah, pulled him in just long enough for the jinx.
I know. Let's hope not. I really hope not. Chloe, thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. You have a great night. We're getting ready to go back to green. Justin Anasagak going to be the lead here. He's on that inside in that 4 machine. All right, you're going to see him. Got a nice jump. There he goes. A great restart for him. Francis Hamilton on that outside, getting a nice push from Stephen Maggio behind him, saying, we got to go. The 11 on the inside, too wide for second. Stephen Maggio going to take it down low right in front of Joe Berg. These guys are green.
Yeah, something we've seen on these 1.5 miles on restarts, that outside lane at a massive disadvantage. And that continues here. And Anasagak able to get an excellent jump on the 48 of Francis Hamilton, who is now going to fall all the way back into the 4th position by the time this lap ends.
Let's hope I didn't jinx him too bad. We'll see if he can't get back up there. We're coming up to the end of stage 1. Bonus points will go out to the top 10 drivers, with first place receiving 10 points and 10th place receiving 1.
Free to go in this stage this time around. They are 3 wide back around 10th position. Now they're trying to get it sorted out. But you see John Honeycutt ripping the wall all the way back there. Meanwhile, Matthew Opliger, one of the drivers who opted to take tires, he is trying to knife his way through the field and get as much track position. He isn't trying to conserve the tires. He's trying to go win this stage.
Wow. What a run by Matthew Opliger in that 4th position. He was 3 wide. We had Micah out on top, Joe Berg in the center. Joe Berg was running quite a higher middle line, kind of squashing up there to the high side. So very, very tight racing. But Matthew, what a run for him.
Yeah, seeing where everyone's running, Juergensmeyer, Flitcroft are kind of running the strategy with those fresh tires. I figured you would run, but Opliger, he wants to go win this stage, and I think he's going to be able to do it. I don't think Anasagak is going to have anything for him as they are going off into turn 3.
Yeah, he's going to dive it down low underneath the 4 car and just nothing that the 4 car can do. And he is going to go ahead and take over the lead coming into 35th. Lap here, and he's going to have this to finish out. We'll see if he can't hold on to it, but I don't think Justin's going to be able to get that back. I mean, he's on those fresh tires. He is off and running. He's going to take that stage win tonight.
Yeah, the 7 of Luke Allen taking that same strategy as Opliger is. He's in the 5th position. He should be able to get at least 3rd, maybe 2nd if he's able to keep that car under him. But Opliger going to come off of turn 4 and win stage 1.
Great win for him. Justin Anasagak in 2nd. Luke Allen going to come out in 3rd. Jimmy Cocker in 4th. Stephen Maggio 5th. Francis Hamilton 6th. Brennan Book finishes out 7th. Brody Folliker in 8th. Micah Allard in 9th. And Philip Bridgman in 10th. Great stage so far. I gotta say, man, there's so many different drivers that can win this tonight. I mean, it's so incredibly close. These drivers on top of each other. Do you think, I will ask this, do you think we'll see a new winner tonight as we saw all of the last round?
I think at some point someone established is going to win one of these. It feels like that, that's what you would think would happen, but I mean, who knows? We could definitely see a new winner tonight, but looking at who has been strong this evening, it's been sort of a list of the usual suspects so far.
Trying to see if we can get on board with Matthew Opliger, but he is not in a Discord team chat, so have to pass that for now. But just a great run for him coming into the last part of the stage to grab those points. And he was a part-time driver, did not make enough races to be able to be a playoff driver.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
okay.
he changes his mind out here. So, obviously he took tires. I can't imagine that he would need it. He's got enough fuel. I mean, he's good to go, but he's going to be on a couple lap-old tires here, Jordan.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these other guys coming into pit. Thomas Flitcroft opting not to come in, but a lot of these drivers, maybe some of the ones that came in are going to top off on fuel. I guess that's the strategy there. But if you were going to pit and take tires, maybe some of those guys did fuel only. But I imagine if you were going to take tires there, you don't want to be down that set, I don't think, unless you're anticipating going green that entire final stage, in which case that extra 4th set of tires isn't going to matter at all. But that's an interesting strategy call out of these guys. But the front 4 doing kind of what I expected, with the 8 being on the very far end of what I was expecting, just putting around on that restart and trying to save as much tire as possible.
Yeah, 9 lap old tires for these guys coming up to 10, but our top 4 drivers stay out. Justin Anasagak going to be in line as P5, and Jimmy Cocker going to be right behind him. Stephen Maggio 7th, Francis Hamilton 8th, Brennan Book 9th, and Brody Folliker in 10th. Joe Berg, I mean, he's looking in 11th, looking on into the top 10. Micah Allard in 12th, Josh Taylor 13th, Forrest Smith. We haven't talked a lot about him out here tonight, but he's sitting 14th, up 3 spots. And rounding out the top 15 is going to be John Honeycutt. It's like we will be going around one more time, Jordan.
Yep. So 6 hard laps on those tires, and the 20 and the 7 really ran them hard. The 9 also seemed to drive pretty hard, getting up into about the 10th position, I believe. So we'll see how well those hold on. If you get 10, 15 laps into a run, it's not going to matter as much. And honestly, with the advantage you have, it's you fall off about a second and 3/4, it feels like. if I remember the times from practice correctly. So, you know, you don't have to drive it that insanely hard on fresh tires to make up a ton of ground on drivers on old tires. So maybe he wasn't pushing as hard as it looked to be as he was knifing through the field. But I don't know. I'm very curious to see how this strategy holds out if they're able to maintain the track position, because this is a racetrack where notoriously it becomes sort of a highline dominated racetrack, especially in closing battles, in huge battles, in in long runs. It tends to migrate to the top, and it becomes a dive bomb fest, a slide job festival, if you will, and yeah, it's maybe they're banking on that, but I guess we'll just see.
Couple of drivers still coming back to the back part of the field. 25th is still in pit lane. That's going to be Jarrett Cardwell. Not exactly sure what happened with him, but he's still trying to get his car fixed up and out. So we'll see if he can't join the field once again. But lap 40 of 150, this has been an extra long caution, I feel like, Jordan. So we're getting ready to go back to green.
Yeah, he has a ton of damage on the right front. I'm kind of curious where
Sure
that came from now. It looks like he got into the wall, maybe off of turn 4, and that caused him to go sliding. I think maybe that's what happened.
See a lot of drivers in the blue outlines, spoilers, and name badges. As we're coming back to green, these guys are playoff drivers, and we are back to green. That high side stacks up a bit. It is led by Luke Allen in that 7 machine, but these guys are off and running. And boy, oh boy, it looks like we're 3, and they wanted to look 4 wide.
They're
just
trying to look 4.
That's going to be the...
thinking about it.
He is definitely thinking about it. These guys have places to go at Chicagoland. They are off and running, though. 51, the 4, the 8. Man, that 51, I mean, he just really puts that thing right on the apron and lets it carry him around that track.
Yeah, the 4 already dispatched, the 51 of Maggio and the 7 of Luke Allen. Now he's looking to get around Opliger and Bridgman. So I think that tire advantage really going to pay off here. I think he wants to get around these drivers as quick as he can, because the longer it takes, the more those tires equalize, and that advantage becomes nil.
On board with Francis Hamilton. He's in that 48 machine, sitting P12. You can see John Honeycutt in that 50 directly below him. You got the low side. They have Tom Flitcroft directly in front. That's going to be Joe Berg in that 93. Francis Hamilton stuck on this outside. He's going to have a nice runoff.
Meanwhile, up at the lead, Anasagak splitting Opliger and Bridgman, trying to take him 3 wide. He's going to do so.
Oh.
Opliger getting a little bit loose, a little push loose, it looked like, on the bottom there. That's going to allow Anasagak to clear both of them down the front straight, heading off into turn 1. Anasagak tried to clear himself. Now he's able to do so. He's the new leader.
He is a new leader, but for how long? That 20 machine.
Caution, caution.
Oh, something went wrong.
Temps real quick and then tell me what you got.
Let's see. It looks like Forrest Smith crashed. Let's see if we can find out what exactly happened, but he's got a ton of damage out there. Let's find out. Just loses it right in the middle of the track there.
Might have maybe a small reaction. The 2 has a little bit of a bobble in front of him as well. I think they were both in line, and each went over the same bump. The 2 was able to hold on to it. The 81, not so lucky. The 40 of Christopher Karch gets his right rear, but that seems to be all the damage that he sustained in that accident.
I'm trying to get a view, see if he got loose. You can, yeah, as you say, the 2 gets a little wobbly, kind of on that seam right there, and he has a little bit of a wiggle, able to hold on to it. And Forrest Smith, he just cannot. Luckily, didn't look like anyone made any contact with him, so I thought it looked like he had some damage, but maybe not.
I think the 40 net coated him just a little bit. I think it gave the 81 some damage, maybe not on the 40, but there was a little bit of net code contact between the 2 of them when they spun.
I'll tell you what, take a look at some of these drivers, the rear end of their cars. The 92 with a lot of rear damage. We have Jarrett Cardwell. He's still headed back to pit lane here, but got some
Yeah,
rear end damage for some of these drivers.
Yeah, Cardwell was in that accident with Hunter Johnson, actually hit him pretty hard, so that's where that right front damage came from, was in the incident with Hunter Johnson. That's what has put Cardwell on the come to pit road a whole bunch track during this race.
That'll do it. All right, let's get Justin Anisagak in here. Justin, it's Eliza in the booth. How you doing?
Good.
Your car looks awesome out there. I know you've seen a couple of drivers take some different strategies and make a run up front. How's your car feeling, and how do you feel about the competition?
Just saving tires. That's what I did the first run. I was really hoping that caution wouldn't come out before the first stage, but so far so good. Just letting these guys drive a little bit harder than me, let them burn that right front up and just save it for the late run.
If someone challenges you for the lead, are you going to just say, hey, you can take it for now, or are you going to challenge him a little bit?
These two right behind me are on, I think, 5 to 6 lap older tires, so I'm just going to probably just jump out to a little lead and save tire, since they're going to be probably side by side going through 1 and 2.
Fair enough. Well, good luck out there. We've seen you with these wins this season. I think tonight is a possible another one for you, so good luck.
Yep, thank you.
All right, you heard it from Justin Anisagak. He's just trying to save those tires, keep that thing underneath him, and let these guys battle behind him.
Yeah, the drivers who stayed out there, Bridgman and Opliger have been able to hang on to the second and third positions, but Luke Allen has fallen back to the 8th spot, and Thomas Flitcroft has fallen all the way back to the 11th spot in the short time of that restart. So, working out for some of those drivers, others not so much, but hey, play a little gamble, why not? We're coming down to the end of the season. Try to figure out a way to steal a little track position and maybe steal a good finish or even a win here tonight.
Absolutely. We're going to have Micah out here in 13th, Josh Taylor 14th, Connor Cunningham in the top 15 spots. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, we haven't seen him up front as much as I thought that we would, but he's sitting 16th. Andrew Sanford 17th, Chris Karch 18th, Jose Ruiz 19th, and Dylan C. Robb rounds out your top 20. Mike Papa Bear Campbell in 21st. PJ O'Leary in 22nd. Jarrett Cardwell still in pit lane. Kevin Dalatord coming out in 24th. And same with Forrest Smith, and he's going to be 25th. All right. Lights atop the pace car are off. They will be going green this time around. Philip Bridgman to the outside. It's going to be on Justin Anisagak. It's going to be on his go. Let's see what these guys can do. Almost just over 100 laps left, Jordan. This race is flying, but man, we still got some time to go.
Yep, we've both stages we've had one yellow so far. Hopefully that was the only yellow we will have in this one, and keep that trend intact. But we've seen a lot of 2 and 3 wide racing, especially on this restart. We'll see what kind of restart this outside lane can get here.
Green flag.
Here we go. That top side once again is going to stack up. We have a nice lead for Justin Anisagak, and he says, I just want to get out to the front, let these guys battle. I want to save my tires, so we'll see what he can do, but he's got a nice lead so far. Matthew Opliger, he's going to be right behind. Jimmy Cocker in 3rd. Philip Bridgman 4th. He is up 18 spots. A fantastic run for him so far tonight. Brendan Book in that 5 machine, he's in 5th, right where he started the race. Oh, hard hit! Philip Bridgman hard into the wall. He's going to have a ton of rear damage, and he's going to have some outside damage after that hit.
Yeah, it looked like he just got tight and dirty air there on those older tires. That strategy call going very wrong for him there.
Fortunate to see. I feel like another jinx, perhaps. We were just talking about the run that he's had, and man, still the night is young. He can bring it back up there. He sits P12 currently. Jimmy Cocker, though, he's got Justin Inisagak. That's our current leader in front. Jimmy in second. Matthew Opliger sitting out P3.
Yeah, and that's one thing with Bridgman is if that car is still going with speed right now, then it's definitely fixable, definitely something he can work on. And we know how crazy these races tend to get toward the end, especially if we get late yellows to start to sort of muddy things up a little bit. There's plenty of opportunity for him to gain positions back, but now he's just going to have to ride. He's going to be around a lot of drivers with better tires than him and a lot of drivers with a healthier race car. Going to have to take care of it here until the end of the stage so we can get it looked at, get it repaired, and get some new tires on it.
Yeah, some of that is mental too. You know, you have something like that happen, you get frustrated, you're trying to gather yourself back up. What do you see, Jordan?
Oh, craziness up front. They were trying to get 3 wide. They're all over each other going into 1-2. Brendan Book bounces off the wall. Not very hard contact, but still enough to see him with a little bouncy bounce in that 4th position. He's going to be in the middle of 3 wide as the 42 of Falliker looks to his outside and the 51 of Maggio on the inside. Meanwhile, behind him, someone else hit the wall. I believe that was the 93 of Berg.
2 wide, that's going to be for P4. So these guys starting to thin out a bit, but man, oh man, the racing is just absolutely wild here. We're going to see Luke Allen. It almost looked like he was about to get hooked on 61's front bumper here. And we see a lot of netcode. That is something you have to watch for out on these tracks. You don't want to be a victim of it, and you don't want to be the one causing it. If you're found at fault, you will receive an EOL.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing about these cars. Meanwhile, Jimmy Cocker, he's trying to flex a little muscle. He moves around Justin Inisagak. He's going to try to put him in dirty air and hurt his tires a little bit. Meanwhile, the 42 really flirting with the wall coming off of turn 4 as they are battling for third.
Yeah, you know, we've seen Brody get into these races pretty late practice-wise, and I wonder if that's kind of hurting him, as we still see him out front, but I feel like he's struggling a lot more in qualifying, trying to make his way out there.
And meanwhile, a lap ago, Thomas Flitcroft, he bounced off of the wall hard, almost in contact with the 3 of Connor Cunningham. That might be what affected him into the wall, and then they went into turn 1, and he got the wall again. So a very bad sequence there for the 8 of Flitcroft.
Top 3 drivers are playoff contenders. Jimmy Cocker, Justin Inisagak, and Steven Maggio just passed Brody Folliker. So that's going to split these drivers up a little bit. But man, single file line. These guys are off and moving. Lap 56 of 150. Reminder, end of lap 70 is going to be the end of stage 2. We will give out another set of bonus points. 10 points to the first finisher and 1 point for P10.
Yeah, it was about lap 18 in that first run when Inisagak was able to make that move around the 2 drivers. I believe that was Hamilton and Cocker. So will that be about whenever he makes his move? There's about 13 laps to go in this stage. Inisagak all over the bumper of Cocker.
Yeah, he sure is. We'll see. He's going to try to dive it down low. I don't know if he's going to have enough. Jimmy going to take that high side. He is going to have that momentum coming off the exit here. You see it right there. Justin unable to make the pass for the lead, but he is still all over that bumper. The good side of being on the low side, though, is you save the tires in the long run.
And meanwhile, a lap ago, we had some pretty hefty contact between Kevin Dalator and Hunter Johnson. Hunter Johnson 10 laps down, racing Dalator pretty hard. Dalator tried to clear himself, went across his bumper, and hooked himself into the wall. Have to wonder if you need to be racing lead lap cars with the wrecked race car that Hunter Johnson has, but he's going for it, and Dalator now has a hurt race car because he was trying to clear himself on him.
Yeah, unfortunate to see he's got a lot of damage on that car right there, but hopefully he can get it fixed up. Not what he wants to see. Another frustrating night for him. He's got some damage on the front right part of that. Meanwhile, Jimmy Cocker still out in the lead here, still battling between him and Justin Anasakak in that 4 car. Man, these guys are just crazy. You still got Brody out there in 3rd. We'll see if these guys still battle it out, if that's going to catch these guys behind him back up. On board with Jimmy Cocker, you can see he's going to make his way up to some lap traffic. That is going to be P24, Jarrett Hardwell, who we saw on pit road for quite a while trying to get that damage repaired. And you guys know I'm going to call it out. Take a look at that sunset. Absolutely stunning.
Ooh, 3 wide for about the 12th position. Not sure what spot exactly that is, but a good battle between John Honeycutt and Josh Taylor and the 7 of Luke Allen. Those 3 going at it hard here for about the 14th, 13th spot.
2 of those drivers are playoff drivers. Almost contact between the 7 and the 2. That could have been absolutely disastrous for these 2 playoff drivers.
Yeah, the 7 saved the 2 there. I think some stuff has been going on there, so maybe a little frustration out of that self-clear by the 2 of Josh Taylor, but the 7 with him lifting out of that was the only move to make to not crash them all, because if he would have stayed in the gas on that back straight, they were all going to wad it up because Josh Taylor was coming up no matter what.
Great call by Luke Allen, and you certainly don't want involved, especially as a playoff driver. A lot on the line for him, as there are only 8 drivers remaining for the coveted title here, but we're going to go down to 4 in a couple of races. This is not one of them that you want to go down with.
Single file a little bit ago amongst the top 10, but now some battles starting to form as the tires start to wear and the laps start to dwindle down here in stage 2. Only 6 laps remaining, I believe, until the end of the stage. When they cross the line here, our front 6 look like they're all single file, but then a good battle for the 7th position.
Yeah, that's going to be between Matthew Opliger and Micah Allard. So these 2 kind of battling it out. And then we see another battle that it looks like it's going to be, well, that's not for position, but Jonathan Jurgensmeyer just blinking out quite a bit tonight. So unfortunate to see. I'm kind of wondering if that is kind of hurting his race to make it up here in the top 5. Single file line for these top drivers. Jimmy Cocker leading the field still, so he's getting some, hopefully some nice points. If he leads the most laps, he's got a point for leading a lap. Justin Anasagak still directly behind him. We talked to him earlier. He said, I want to save the tires, let these guys battle it out, but I know he wants to be out front. We're coming up 70 laps at the end of that. It will be the end of stage 2. Jimmy's trying to hold on for those 10 bonus points.
Yeah, Opliger starting to feel the effects of being on those older tires, but he's done a yeoman's job to hang out as high as he has in the running order. He is the top running of the 4 drivers that stayed out on that previous, or at the stage break, I should say. The others, the farthest upward is in 15th. That's Luke Allen. So he's done an excellent job holding on to his track position, trying to hold off Micah Allard and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in the closing laps. Only 3 to go here in the stage.
Coming down to the wire here. Justin still trying to make his way up. You know, he's just led so much of this season. I wonder if he's really going to try to battle it out for this final spot here, but man, why not?
I mean,
if I can get that extra point, I'm going for it.
Yeah, every point matters at this point.
Here he goes, trying to dive it down low, trying to put his car where Jimmy Cocker may not be able to take it as quickly. So he's going to try to go for everything. He's going to dive down low. Jimmy going to take that high side, not as high as he could. We'll see what kind of run he gets off the exit here. Side by side still as we head into lap 70. Going into 3 and 4, Jimmy Cocker still a nose out, but it is going to be incredibly close as we're coming out of 4.
Oh, and Asagak gets tight on the bottom, has to let out of it to not get into Cocker. That might cost him the 2nd position, maybe even the 3rd, as Falliker and Book attempting to capitalize on that slight mistake. Cocker really pinching him down through 3 and 4. Falliker and Asagak really tight off of the exit, and I think that's all that Cocker's going to need to win this stage.
Absolutely, that's all he needs, and looks like Jimmy's teammate Brody Falliker might be able to snag a 2nd, but man, oh man, tight as they are going 3 wide for P2 at the end of stage 2. Absolutely crazy. Here we go. Jimmy Cocker first. It looks like Brody Falliker might have taken 2nd. Brennan Book 3rd. Justin Anasagak 4th. Joe Berg in 5th. Stephen Maggio 6th. Micah Allard in 7th. Matthew Opliger 8th. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer 9th. And Connor Cunningham 10th. What a crazy finish out there.
Yeah, just an Asagak went to make the move, and it's what I was talking about earlier. When the racing starts, that line moves right up to the wall, and that's where Cocker ran through 1 and 2, and then ran a lot lower in 3 and 4. I imagine those drivers trying to dodge that bump that's so prevalent in the middle, up in that high line of that edge of the racetrack, or that half of the racetrack, I should say, really tight against an Asagak's door, gave him really no margin for error, and he just pushed it just a little bit too hard, lost the nose, and that ended up getting him pinned down on the bottom, and got a little tight again, it seemed like, off of 4, maybe had the wheel cooked in a little hard, and lost too much momentum, and that allowed Book to nip him at the line as well.
Yeah, lost too much momentum and lost 3 spots just from a simple mistake. You're going to see these drivers going down pit lane heading into the final stage of the night. An incredible race so far. Jimmy Cocker was leading the field, Brody Falliker 2nd, Brennan Book 3rd, Justin Anasagak 4th, and Joe Berg 5th. And Wild Boy, I see you out there. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Let me know who you're rooting for. I think I know.
And I will say, as a driver's critique, so often in these races where the line kind of moves to somewhere where it's really difficult to pass, no one attempts anything at the end of these races. You want to see something like what the 4 attempted there. You want to see him try to make that move. It didn't work out. And of course, what always happens is a couple other guys up in the high lane take advantage of it and take the free position. But I would always rather be that person trying to actually doing something rather than just trying to pick up the pieces and see what comes to them, which I'm not saying that's what the 42 and 5 were doing, because they were side by side and having their own hefty battle, but that's just kind of what always seems to happen at tracks like this. Is you kind of get into this point in the race where no one wants to do anything because they're more scared of losing positions than they are of what they could potentially gain.
We have Jimmy Cocker out front here, and we're going to get him into the booth here. Jimmy Cocker, it's Eliza in the booth. How you doing out there?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I am doing good, man. You've had a heck of a race car. You're going to lead us back to green here, heading into the final stage. What's your strategy as you go in here?
Well, it seems like the track's going to keep cooling down progressively as it gets darker. I've never raced Chicagoland at night. I'm not exactly sure, but we're just going to continue what we've been doing. Just keep the track position and put ourselves in good position by the end of this thing.
Saw a close quarter racing between you and Justin out there. Were you a little nervous when you saw how close it got and he had to back off, losing a couple of spots, I might add?
I'm thankful he's a good driver and that he lifted. Most people would just full throttle it right there and fence us both and put us in a very bad situation for Iowa and going forward. So I wasn't really that scared. I know Justin's a really smart driver. I knew he was gonna lift. I don't know if I came down on him though. That's the only thing. I felt like we were pretty tight coming off turn 4.
Very tight indeed, but a lot of fun racing. You guys look so solid out there. A great run for FIWB so far. I wish you a ton of luck heading into the final stage.
I appreciate it, Eliza.
All right, you heard it there from Jimmy Cocker. I mean, he's had a fantastic race car, and take a look at his teammate, Brody Folliker, directly behind him, sitting 8 spots up from where he started. He sits in second, Justin Anisagak. He's going to gain a position after heading down pit lane and coming out. He sits P3, Brennan Book 4th, and Matthew Opliger, he's sitting in your top 5. Wild Boy says, gotta root for that number 4 car, but also the 23. Fair enough. That is Jose Ruiz, and let's see if we can find out. He's sitting P15 on Team FTR. He's had such a great run this season. I'm so sad that he did not make the playoffs. I think this is the first time that FTR has not made the playoffs. And you hear an FTR driver out here in the booth with me currently.
Yeah, Jose, one of those drivers that likes long green flag runs, likes to take care of his stuff, the starter runs, and work his way through the field. That has not been the style of racing prevalent in this series over the course of the season up to this point. That hasn't been the exception. That has definitely been the rule. Whatever. There have been a lot of yellows, a lot of crashing, and a lot of short runs. We're about to go green.
And we are back to green and going into the final stage. And these front 2 drivers, obviously teammates 11 and the 42, that is going to help these drivers stay out front. The 4 car, is he going to be able to get that car underneath? Not so much just yet. These guys trying to go single file for the top 4. And then for 5th, we're going to go 2 wide all the way through.
Thought I might have seen a car in the wall, but again, that is no coincidence that that's probably the best restart we've seen out of the top lane all race long. As you noted, Cocker and Falliker teammates. Probably a little bit of a countdown there in the in their team chat that allowed Falliker to get a nice run, pull into that second position ahead of an Asagak who's fallen off of these guys, probably trying to take care of his tires, trying to make that kind of run we saw in that first stage. But Falliker going for the lead.
That 3 car taking it down 3 lanes to take the underneath. Man, on the apron, I thought that was going to be absolutely disastrous. You see Opliger, and I see a lot of drivers hitting that wall coming on the outside, coming off the exit here. A lot of drivers taking underneath that apron, but things are wild heading into stage 3.
Yeah, that's the second time I think Cunningham has nearly, if not actually, walled somebody off of turn 4. He got Brendan Book that time. Book with pretty hard contact off of turn 4 that previous lap.
Folliker out in the lead here. He's got teammate Jimmy Cocker behind. Brody trying to get that lap-led bonus point out here. Much needed for him. We'll see what he can do. Another playoff driver, Justin Anisagak. P3 right where he started. Matthew Opliger, 4th. Connor Cunningham, P5.
Hey, Cunningham has been very aggressive, but now he's under fire from the 0-0 of Juergensmeyer. He's going to look to the inside, a little bit tight on that inside lane, wash it up just a tiny bit, but he's going to be able to keep it down there. They're side by side at the start-finish line.
On board with Jonathan Juergensmeyer, up 2 spots from where he started. Ooh, I don't know if there was some contact or what, but his car got pretty upset heading into turn 1 here. Coming off the exit, let's take a wider view of what's going on.
Yeah, there was contact. Yeah, he almost cleared himself on the 3, and yeah, that almost created a big issue.
Yeah, that was a nice save by Juergensmeyer there and the 3 car. A lot of movement from John Honeycutt, too, in that 50 machine. Not sure if he got a little loose or just trying to make some moves. It is a very, very crowded field currently. These guys are absolutely on top of each other. 3 with quite a run on that high side. We've seen it time and time again. but he's got no help out there, and he is really taking that high. Meanwhile, this line on the inside, a lot of momentum. The 3 into the wall again. That's going to hurt him on his run. He's going to lose quite a few spots over that.
Yeah, he's been very aggressive this restart, but this time bites him just a little bit. And I feel like running that high line as hard as he has, even with his few lapses on those tires, I imagine they cannot be happy with him. And now the car itself not happy with him.
Yeah, you know, the high side, it's great for trying to pass somebody and trying to make some moves, but man, oh man, it does wear down the tires. Not something you want to see a lot, but here we go. Looks like Mike Papa Bear Campbell perhaps involved. Kevin Dalator crashed here. Let's go find out what happened. Man, that looks like netcode again. 92, wasn't he involved in the first one also?
No, that was the 30 who got net coded by the 7.
Okay.
Got hooked by the 7, but the 92 was in an accident with the 30 at one point.
Yes,
and
I thought that was netcode too, but
that was,
maybe not.
Yeah, that was him. That was them racing really hard, even though there was 10 laps between them.
Go back one more time and you can see 92 comes up. Mike Campbell, I mean, just holding his line. 92 came up just a little bit more than I think Mike Campbell was expecting, and I think he was trying to go up high too. But yeah, contact right there, whether netcode happened or not.
I think what happened was Dalator got the apron there. He got the left front on the apron. He definitely came in with a lot of speed as well. I think he overcooked it, got the apron, and there's no keeping it down there. And Campbell given a lot of room on the bottom, but it just ended up not even being enough. And wow, that was a big hit for the 92 that sent the 71 flying.
Yeah, unfortunate to see. We have a lot of drivers headed down pit lane. Connor Cunningham, no, looks like he's gonna stay. Well, Micah out. Joe Berg, Tom Flitcroft coming out. Dylan, Jarrett Cardwell, and Mike Papa Bear Campbell's got to fix some of the damage that he incurred on that incident right there. 5th caution of the night. A couple of those from our stage cautions. We are in stage 3, the final portion of the race, lap 84 of 150. You know, a couple of drivers, Jordan, are not going to be happy to see these cautions come out. Justin Anasagat going to be one of them. What do you think about Mr. Jimmy Cocker and Brody Folliker?
I mean, it's kind of, I don't think it really changes what they're planning to do here. It's just, I don't think you love it, especially if you wanted long green flag runs, but it's, you know, if you have the track position and you're able to save the tire, and this doesn't, I don't think this quite puts fuel into it. It might be it's getting close. I think we were getting like 55, something like that, laps on fuel. Mm-hmm. So it's not quite there. We're still about 10. We're about 5 laps away from where you could legitimately save something and have a shot at stealing some track position by saving fuel. So I don't know. I think it really doesn't change anything for them this yellow. It's if we start getting a bunch of yellows where then you have to play the guessing game of when to come in, when not to come in, that this becomes frustrating for them.
Absolutely. And I have a question for you. If they do have to go in and, you know, you only have just a handful of laps left, are you taking fresh tires when you go in, or are you just taking a splash of fuel?
I mean, we saw, you want a set of tires for late yellow. We saw what Opliger did at the end of stage 1. I mean, he went from, you know, like 18th to first or whatever it was. Like, so in the span of, I think, 5 laps. You want those tires. They fall off, you know, about a 2 3/4, something around there, 2 seconds, something like that over the course of a run. So you really, really want, if you have fresh tires for a you know 5 to 10 lap dash at the end of this thing, you're in the right position, no matter what kind of track position you have.
Absolutely. Something for these drivers to keep in their pocket for the final part of the race, see if it happens. But Joe Turkey, how you doing out there? Big Papa Bear says, getting 9 minutes of required fix. I'll be back out soon. So unfortunate to see for him. But Luke Allen, P11, he's having a great run. I'm just so proud of him. Just a great season so far for him in that 7 machine. He's up 4 spots from where he started. Seen him out in the top 10. I think he can get there once again, hopefully a top 5 as we get ready to go back to green.
And up and working his way into the top 10 right now is Forrest Smith. He's become sort of the Jimmy Spencer of this league, Mr. Excitement, but we're going green. They're a very orderly restart, but the second row able to hold tight with these drivers, so not working out exactly how FIWB would have wanted it to. We'll see if Cocker is able to hold off a Nasagak here. Oh, big wreck in the back. Maggio head on into the wall, collects the 81 of Smith. Somehow, those two were the only one in it.
Yeah, you know, I saw these drivers. I was just waiting to see what would happen. They were 3 wide, and Forrest Smith in that middle line really cutting these close, and Luke Allen involved.
So that's what happened. The 7 loses it in the center of them. Wow.
Let's go back and see here.
God, that thing really, it's almost like it got net coded, like from the top. Like maybe the left front hit, because that's a pretty sudden, that looks like he got tapped. Like there's, you know, a foot between them, but it looks like he got tapped.
Yeah, it does. Let me do one more view here, but I mean, his car reacted as if he did get tapped, and I'll tell you what.
Now, if you hit one of these bumps with as light as this car can be on cold tires, like it could look that way for sure.
Right.
So I don't want to say
and
it's
he
or
was
not,
riding
but
on the apron, absolutely.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm more leaning towards that maybe there was some
think he
netcode
got
involved with the
netcoded.
51. Maybe it was both.
I think it was the 81. I think it was the 81 that
81,
netcoded.
really?
Like I think the 81 maybe working his way down just a tiny bit. You can see his car kind of coming down the racetrack, and I think the left front of the 81 netcoded into the right front of the 7, and that is what caused that accident.
Well, you know what they say, cautions breed cautions, and we're in that part of the race. Let's hope we don't get another one.
And I hate that we
man.
have to talk about netcode. Like, it is frustrating.
Isn't it terrible? I know. And we've had a few of it tonight, and I feel like even with that,
it's bad in this car. It's been bad in this car all season long.
Hopefully something that they get looked up at. Man, oh man, I really hate jinxing drivers. Just talking about Luke Allen and how proud I am of him, and then, you know, chaos happens. Man, oh man. Brody Falliker, I'll correct myself, still leading the field. Justin Anisagak sitting second. Jimmy Cocker still rounding out that podium so far. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer's found his way up into the top 5, sitting P4. Matthew Appliger sitting in 5th. Josh Taylor, we haven't seen a lot of him tonight. He's sitting 6th. Brendan Book 7th. Francis Hamilton 8th. And Luke Allen. Hopefully no damage from him on that, but he sits 9th with PJ O'Leary out in the top 10. Taking a look at Luke Allen's car, I don't see any damage, at least on the left side of his vehicle here. No rear end damage. Looks like he might be okay. Scuffed up a little bit on that right side, but nothing too terrible. Lights should be going out on the pace car as we come up to 90, lap 91 of 150. We'll see what happens here. Mr. Perrin Huggins, what's up? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the cheers. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. very clean race here at Chicagoland, but I'll tell you what, a couple of cautions come out, and cautions breed cautions. I'm hoping we're not going to see that. Fingers crossed, but, man. Fun race tonight. I'd say one of our best handling cars out here on an oval so far this season.
Yeah, this in practice was definitely one of the more enjoyable cars to drive, but haven't had to deal with it at night when the speeds are up. The car is definitely going to be a little bit wilder to handle with those heightened speeds. So I think as the sun goes down, the race might start to get a little bit crazier. Now we're in a fuel window, by the way. That I'm kind of curious how many drivers might have come in to top off there and attempt to save some fuel. I don't think that's a terrible play with how slow everyone gets, but I think at this point, if you're able to split this next run in half, I think you might be able to beat a fuel saver, but we'll just have to see. But regardless, they have to go green all the way for any of that to mean anything that I just said.
I'm kind of curious if maybe we'll spread out a little bit, take it easy on each other, maybe save a little bit. Probably not.
Green
Probably
flag.
not.
No, it's stage 3. Got to get it all.
Here they go, back to green, and we do have Brody Folliker leading the field right out in front of teammate Jimmy Cocker in the 11 machine, the 4 car on the outside. Matthew Opliger sitting side by side with Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in that 00. These guys off and running. You can see some of these drivers hitting
Cocker
them.
looks a little.
Yeah.
Gallagher just looked really tight. Either that or Anasagak and Cocker were just really pushing to the corner, but side by side, both of them were able to gain on him and even sort of have the run. It looks like Falliker really struggling. Maybe he's saving some fuel, maybe a lot of tire. Oh, Cocker almost came up in front of his teammate there.
These guys make me nervous. We got Brody Folliker directly behind him. Jimmy going side by side with Justin once again. We've already seen this battle. We've seen how it played out, and man, it is not going to end anytime soon. Jimmy going to have that lead as he's got the momentum on that high side. Will he be able to hold it? Find out, but Justin still sticking that nose just enough, getting a push from Jimmy's teammate, Brody Folliker. And then he's going to say, hey, I'm going down low. I want to join my teammate out here. A lot going on in these top 3 drivers. Matthew Opliger with a nice look at these drivers as he's making his way in there, trying to make something happen.
These drivers have about 18, 19, 20 lap hard racing on these tires. So actually probably about 15 laps actually. So I feel like they're going hard right now just from the way that this has looked. I mean, we had the 4 in the booth talking about saving tire, and he's been driving it hard on this restart. I think these guys are just going until the car starts to feel bad, and then they're going to come in and pit.
I agree. I think it's going to be kind of close for these drivers, too close for comfort to try to save and try to get anything out of it.
Most of these drivers haven't come in at all this stage,
Right.
and they have no
Absolutely.
chance of making it.
Yeah.
So they're definitely going to have to pit. I think that's what these guys are doing. I think they're driving as hard as they can, trying to get as much of a gap as they can. I think they sense that there are several drivers out there maybe attempting to save fuel, maybe attempt to try to steal this race. I think they're going as hard as they can to try to keep track position, get that gap, and try to, have whatever advantage they can on anyone else when it's their time to pit.
Right. I mean, they do have 25 lap old tires at this point, so they are going for it all. But those drivers that may have gone in, I don't know. It's just going to be close for these guys. It's going to be really interesting to see the strategies that these guys do. But for these top guys, no doubt, as Jordan says, they will be going in. Justin Anasagak Jimmy Cocker sitting 1 and 2. A little bit of a gap between them and Matthew Opliger sitting in third. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer going side by side with Brody, who has lost a few spots and still losing. We'll see what happens with him, but Brennan Book getting ready to go on attack as he sits with 2 wide directly in front of him.
I think most of these guys are going to try to go maybe 20 more laps or so and then start pit road. Some of them that have saved a little better tire, you'll see probably like Jose Ruiz, some of these other drivers will probably go all the way on this tank of fuel. But I imagine a lot of these guys are going to try to split this thing in half. I feel like that's probably the right way to play this, as everyone's single file now. They were on top of each other at the start of this run, and now they fan out just a little bit through 1 and 2.
Don't jinx him, Jordan. We'll see what happens, but Luke Allen sitting P13 directly behind Micah Ellard sitting 12th. You can see Andrew Sanford, another driver we haven't talked a lot about in this race tonight, but he has gained 10 spots sitting P11. Meanwhile, PJ O'Leary is sitting P9. He's up 11 spots.
Wow. Opliger and Cocker going at it, and they were going at it so hard that it pulled Cocker alongside an Asagak for the lead. That's some hardcore battling up here at the front. Cocker looking to the outside, not able to do so, and Asagak going to clear himself off of the corner. Cocker going to look for the cross, not going to be there, not going to be able to get to the inside of him. He's going to try to look to the bottom. Nope, he's going to stay in line, give him a little nudge. Now peek to the bottom. Asagak going to give him that look, but he'll have that preferred lane on corner exit. Cocker struggling down there, has to let out. That's going to allow Opliger into his rear bumper. A nice save. They're going to be 3 wide going into turn 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much Jimmy Cocker appreciated that nudge, especially going around the corner from that 20 car, but 20 backs it off a little bit. Very aggressive tonight. These drivers going for everything. The 20 is not a playoff driver as they go 3 wide. 2 playoff drivers with a non-playoff driver in the center, hugging Jonathan Jurgensmeyer on that inside, but he is surrounded by nothing but playoff drivers, Jordan.
Yeah, I'd have to go and look at it, but I don't know if the 20 could have really done anything differently. I think the 11 was struggling in that corner, and that's how they got together there. I'm sure Cocker probably doesn't see that way. And a little netcode contact out of turn 4 between the two. Again, these drivers really going at it hard.
We think we're coming up on the final 10 laps of the race, but we still have quite a few laps in the 20 and the 11. Oh my goodness, I'm getting so nervous for these guys. Extremely tight racing. The 20 just hugging on to that 5 machine. The 5 coming down. These guys are still 2 wide, just barely, but it is still there with Brendan Book on the outside with that high side momentum. We'll see if he can't make it happen.
Yeah, Opliger's really diving it into the corners really deep, but that's cost him the last 2 sets here. Able to keep it to the white line, but there he goes sliding up just a half a car length. Able to keep his foot in it, keep some momentum in it. He's not going to lose a lot to that 5 on the outside, but Book, with that preferred line, is going to prevail regardless.
3 wide. This is for P2. The 11 on the high side, Brennan Book in the middle, and the 20 on the inside as they're coming out into the tri-oval underneath the apron, trying to get all the momentum they can. You see Jimmy Cocker in second, Justin Anasagak in first, exactly where he wants to be. You heard him earlier. He said, I want to be in the lead. I want to save my tires. But man, oh man, he is running them out. There is no more of that as he is trying to hold off these drivers behind him.
You know, we're about 5 laps away from the theoretical halfway point of this of this stage on the tires. Obviously, you can push that number back because of the yellows that we have had. So about 115, 120, I imagine that's when we're going to start seeing some of these leaders come in, and they'll slowly start trickling depending on the strategy that they're going to try to run here.
20 trying to take a peek on the inside. That is going to be Brennan Book on the high side in that 5 machine as they are 2 wide. This is for P3. 3 as we're coming into the tri-oval. It's been notorious for drivers hitting the wall coming out of that corner. You see Brody Folliker directly behind these two, just saying, hey, battle it out. I'm going to make my way up there. Hopefully, he's hoping to stay out of trouble. Five car giving a nudge to Jimmy Cocker, trying to help him out, trying to also help himself out, trying to get away from that 20. They've been too wide all the way through for several laps as the 20 almost gets into the 5. He goes underneath, coming back up the track. He's been so aggressive tonight, Jordan.
Yeah, he's been really aggressive on this restart, and we've seen it work for him. You know, last week at the Roval, a track where you have to be aggressive. You know, every lap, every corner, he was our winner. But then a couple, 3 weeks ago at Kansas, we saw him make a mistake late that took him out of the event, out of the running for the win, in a night where he had run up front basically the whole time. So which version of that aggressiveness will we see? Will we see that the beneficial one or the self-destructive one? Or the self-destructive one? We'll find out here as he continues to dive it in deep and try to maintain that run through the center of the corner as they head down the back straight.
You would just think that these guys have 5 laps to go the way they are racing currently, almost 3 wide for P2. Brennan Book gonna back out of it. The 20 not backing out of anything. He is a non-playoff driver, completely surrounded by playoff drivers. So I know some of these guys are gonna say, you know what? Maybe give me a little bit of a break. I am a playoff driver going for a title here. So we'll see if the 20 is going to answer to that.
But you know what he's saying? He's saying, you give me a break. You're the one with something to lose. So that's true. That's the that's the yin and yang of it.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are crazy. I want to go throughout the field, but man, oh man, it is just so chaotic up here. So fun to watch. I can't leave it just yet. The 5 and 20 cannot get away from each other. Still side by side. Justin Anasagak still leading the field. Jimmy Cocker still right on his heels. Brendan Book sitting 3rd. He finally gets away from the 20 machine as Brody Folliker is now side by side on that inside. Matthew Opliger, he's on that outside.
Yeah, we're starting to see the 11's tires give up. The 5 maybe hasn't pushed it quite as hard. The 4 has had clean air this whole time. Oh, yeah. They're all crossing each other up using 3 different lanes through 1 and 2. The 5 of Brendan Book looking to the inside of Anasagak, but the 4 are able to hold off the 5. Again, it's kind of been what I've talked about. When you're that leader, you can run that middle lane, that high lane, and just kind of dare that person beneath you to maintain grip or to crash you both.
Sun going down here and the action is heating up. Temperature going down, grip increasing, but man, oh man, these guys are taking full advantage of it. Absolutely. Justin still leading though. Jimmy still in 3rd, Brennan in 2nd, and made up quite a few spots. He started 3 spots below where he is currently. That's P2. Side by side for the lead, Jordan. The 5 underneath that 4 machine. How much can the 4 car hold off this field?
Well, honestly, as long as you don't slip up and if you still have some grip in your tires, that's such a dominant line. You're almost going to have to need to get a great run off of turn 4 and maybe snooker the 4 down to the bottom, maybe to try to cover something else and then get to his right rear. That might be really the only way to pass. We see a handful of drivers coming down to pit road, the 00 of Jurgensmeyer, as well as the 93 of Berg. So here we are, lap 115. That was about when I was saying we'd start to see drivers start to trickle down, and that is what is happening here.
Hunter Johnson still in pit lane, and we have Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Joe Berg, Luke Allen. Meanwhile, Justin still leading the field. Brendan Book directly behind him. We have Jimmy Cocker in 3rd, Matthew Opliger in 4th, Brody Folliker in 5th, Micah sitting out there in 6th, up 12 spots from where he started. Take a look. Jose Ruiz sitting P7. Francis Hamilton 8th. Josh Taylor 9th. And Andrew Sanford, he's going to round out the top 10. He's got the 16 right above him, though, so these two having quite the battle for 10th here.
Yeah, when the 7 came to pit road, he rolled through his pit stall just a tiny bit, so there'll be a slow stop for Luke Allen. As you can see, the 20 of Opliger now, he is pulling off, and with one of our leaders pulling off, that's going to make these other drivers just make that decision. Do I want to try to make this to try to go long, or do I want to try to counter that move? We'll have to see. It all be dependent on how confident they are in the tire saving they have been able to accomplish during this run.
Yeah, I feel like Justin is usually on his own strategy. Once you think you have it set for what drivers are going to do, Justin just does something completely different. I don't know how much different he can go here, considering the circumstances, but it'll be interesting to see. Brennan Book directly behind still trying to take it out to that lead, going underneath, which is going to be interesting as these guys try to make it down pit lane. $119 of 150 coming up to 120. Here we go. Justin Anasagak, he's making his way on into pit lane. Almost lost it getting around that apron, but manages to hold on to it. Such a risky entrance into pit lane. I mean, it's just, I talked about it earlier. That's one of the things that I struggle with personally. Jimmy Cocker directly behind, Josh Taylor, Andrew Sanford, all drivers in. New leader, Brennan Book, Brody Folliker directly behind. See if Brendan Book goes in this time around. Gonna grab that bonus point for leading. Jose Ruiz in second.
Something I want to note here is Micah Allard in third is clutching in the corners. His engine is going off on corner entry. I believe he's attempting to try to save this and go the entire way on fuel.
Interesting. Currently sits third, up 15 spots from where he started, and we'll see if he can't bring that strategy. Yeah, you can see him clutching it right there, shutting it down.
It's a really big fall off as far as speeds go with the tire wear, but it's a very long pit road. Like I was watching Opliger came off. He came off, a lap and a third behind our leaders after running with them, and it didn't look like he had that bad of a pit stop. So it just seems like with how much ground is being lost here on pit road, I think the fuel save strategy is in play here tonight. I think it's a very viable one.
We'll see how this plays out. Very interesting. You see the speed, though, that Micah has lost as he's trying to save. You heard it from Jordan, but Matthew Opliger really flying by these drivers. I'm kind of curious. Any other drivers that are in the same strategy, but Brendan Book on his way down pit lane. Jose Ruiz going to be our new leader as he makes his way around.
Yeah, predictably, Jose Ruiz going to be one of the last ones to pit on this green flag cycle here. Sounds like he's at full song. I think he's just going to go as far as he can, maybe try to get a yellow from some of these drivers trying to push it on cold tires, see what happens. But I think he's just going to stay out probably until he runs out of fuel, come in, get 4 tires, and try to run some hot laps to the end of this thing.
Jonathan Jurgensmeyer sitting P11, Matthew Opliger 12th, Justin Anasagak 13th, Jimmy Cocker 14th, Luke Allen 15th, and Brendan Book, he's coming back out on track, currently sitting 16th. So about 11th on is when we saw our leaders running about, so we'll see what these guys can do to make up some track positions. And Micah is definitely clutching it around here. See what he does. Francis Hamilton making his way into pit lane. A lot of new faces up here.
Yep, Jurgensmeyer and Berg, the furthest forward of the drivers who have already come to pit road. 28.8 seconds back at the line that last time by, running in 10th, but Opliger is going to try to make short work of them as he has, I believe, about 10 laps fresher tires than they have, maybe 5-10, not really sure of the exact number, but he should be able to make short work of these two. But a driver you're really going to look at is Justin Anasagak. He lost a lot of ground to the 20 of Opliger. That theoretically should be the battle for your win here tonight, unless Micah Allard is able to make the fuel last.
You can see it on the track map here. In 12th, that's going to be Justin Anasagak. And you're going to see in first, Jose Ruiz. Justin is going to be crossing the line here shortly. He does it now. And Jose Ruiz, who's current leader, crosses the finish line just now. So you can see the distance between these drivers. Oh, man, strategy. I'm really curious to find out what's going to happen here. Jose gonna have to come down soon. He's not saving, as you recall. Micah, he's gonna be in second. Connor Cunningham third. Dylan C. Robb in fourth. Philip Bridgman in fifth. John Honeycutt sixth. Tom Flitcroft seventh. Jarrett Cardwell, we saw him with a lot of damage earlier on. He's sitting P8. And then Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, he's moved up to ninth. 22 to go, Jordan. Who do you think? Who's it gonna be?
Right now, I really like. I think it's gonna be. Anasagak has already closed down a pretty fair amount on Opliger, but I mean, still a pretty decent gap. It looked like it was only a second whenever I was looking at the running order, but it's a lot. It's a pretty long second, if that's accurate. About nearly 2 seconds. So, yeah, that's a. I think I like those two where they're sitting. I like the 20 and the 4, but I also really think that I'm curious. It all depends on when the 61 started saving. If he's just saving for the heck of it because he knew he wasn't gonna be able to get up to the lead or whatever, then he's not gonna have a chance at making it all the way. But as the drivers that came into pit road, their pace slows down. I don't think the 61 is going to lose a whole lot more pace. It's going to even out. And this massive gap he has on them, I think there's a chance if he's been saving this entire run.
We already have Micah. He's got 2 wins in this season. His last win was at Richmond about 5 races ago. He told us tonight, he said, you know what, I'm going to win this. I don't know. We'll see if the strategy plays out the way he wants it to. Matthew Opliger, though, sitting P9th. I mean, he's been aggressive. He's made the moves he's needed to make. Does he have the speed to get back up there? With 19 laps to go, Jarrett Cardwell down pit lane. We have Justin Anasagak moving up to 10th. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer 9th. Micah gonna fall back a spot as he is battling for second between him and Connor Cunningham. So he's gonna lose another spot here.
And then to go back to what I was saying, Micah Allard did not start saving until about 111 was when he started clutching. And you could tell, I think it looked like the 3 is doing so as well. So I don't think it's going to work out for the 61, but now Connor Cunningham is the furthest up of all the drivers that are attempting the fuel safe strategy. So suddenly he is in a good spot if he started this early enough to be able to actually make it.
Yeah, this is getting crazy. Wild Boy says a caution for Jose would be stellar. Chloe says, what has happened since I've been gone? A lot, Chloe. A lot. Joe Turkey says, knowing Jose's luck, it will come out after he merges back onto the track after pitting. Probably. Yeah, it's been a wild race. A lot of close battles. Jose still leading the field here, but different strategies. I'm not sure going to play out the way some of these drivers had hoped. See what happens. We're coming up 15 to go when Jose crosses the line next time around. Micah
and-
in third and Philip Bridgman in fourth, a little bit back.
And meanwhile, the battle of all the drivers that did pit, Opliger, Anasagak, Juergensmeyer, and Cocker, those four are on top of each other, separated by about a second and a half through turns 1 and 2 right now. So that battle is heating up. It could be the battle for the win. It could be a battle for like fifth. Who knows how this is going to work out here.
I know. Yeah, there's Matthew Opliger. Right where he started the race, P8. P9th is going to be Justin Inisagak. 10th, Jonathan Juergensmeyer. Jimmy Cocker, 11th. Brennan Book, 12th. So these guys, as Jordan said, on top of each other. 13th is going to be Joe Berg. 14th, Brody Folliker. 15th, Josh Taylor. 16th, Andrew Sanford and Luke Allen, 17th. PJ O'Leary, 18th. Chris Karch, 19th. Francis Hamilton, 20th.
Still 20 drivers on the lead lap. Jerk Cardwell with that damaged car. I thought he might be one of those drivers attempting a fuel safe strategy as well, but it looks like he has come to pit road and is a lap down now. So 20 drivers on the lead lap. That number will probably stay the same. Jose actually might lose a lap when he comes into pit, but should be able to get it back as long as he doesn't wait until like the last lap to pit. Actually very surprised he's been able to go this far. This is about it's about 60 laps on a tank with all the yellows, so maybe not, or about 70 laps I should say. So not the craziest distance, but still pretty far whenever we were getting about 50 something laps on the tank.
Yeah, he's coming up 55 lap old tires and on fuel. So that is around the window that we saw, but as Jordan said, cautions and whatnot has changed things around. Connor Cunningham, he had 50 lap old tires from when we last went in. So yeah, Matthew Opliger going to be the next one, 21 lap old tires since he went in last. This is where the strategy is going to differ, and we'll find out what happens, who's going to win it.
And
Man,
with all
he just
of these,
got super loose.
who was that?
Matthew Opliger. I don't know if he
Oh.
got tight or loose coming out of that exit. I think it was the exit. I was looking at camera views.
Oh! Anasagak bounces it off the wall behind Opliger. Pretty hefty contact, and meanwhile Cocker has been able to dispatch the 00, so the 11 trying to run down the 4, who is trying to run down the 20, and they're all bouncing off of stuff for what they think should be the battle for the win here, but they're going to have to start passing some guys as they're coming around to 10 to go.
Yeah, this is getting crazy. Jose still out here in the lead. Connor Cunningham second. Micah Allard third. John Honeycutt fourth. Philip Bridgman fifth. Tom Flitcroft sixth. Dylan C. Robb seventh. Matthew Opliger eighth. Justin Inisagak ninth. And Jimmy Cocker round out your top 10. Drivers on different strategies, drivers with different speed.
I'm kind of wondering if Jose is going to try to take this all the way, because he was really, really low on the exit of turn 4. I think he started, it doesn't sound like the engine is quiet, but he is really, really he's going very slow at the moment and keeping it as tight around that white line as he possibly can. So
Nope, he's going in.
he's coming to pit road. Never mind.
Man,
I guess he was trying to go to pit road last time and missed it.
it's quite possible. Our leader going down pit lane as we were coming 8 to go. This is going to bring out a new leader, Connor Cunningham, in that 3 machine. See if he can't hold out. Let's take a look here.
Meanwhile,
54 lap run so far.
The 50 of John Honeycutt has picked up the pace. The 61 of Micah Allard, it looks like, is trying to get back to him a little bit. So, the 8 of Tom Flitcroft actually has some decent pace at this moment as well, as he's actually gone around, I believe, Micah Allard. All of these drivers attempting to save fuel here as they're about a half a straightaway ahead of our group of drivers who are trying to run them down.
Top 7 drivers are not a playoff driver. A chance of a non-playoff driver winning is significant here tonight.
Yeah, you're saying that we might have a first-time winner. Connor Cunningham could be that driver currently
Absolutely.
leading, but John Honeycutt, who won in our next gen series in the spring season, I believe, at Dover, trying to go, to keep that streak alive and win a race in this season. He is in second, also on that fuel save strategy.
Yeah, our top 3 drivers do not have a win this season. Micah, he's already got 2 wins. He'd be looking for his 3rd this season. Philip Bridgman, almost 4 seconds back, but if something happens, I mean, he would be another first-time winner. 5 to go, though, you guys. Here's the time. Put it in chat. Who do you have winning? Is it going to be Connor Cunningham, first-time winner? John Honeycutt, first-time season winner? Tom Flitcroft, another new winner this season? Who's it going to be? Or will they have to pit? And it'll be somebody else. I don't know, Jordan. This is crazy.
I mean, it all depends on how well they save fuel and if they've stopped, if they've picked up their pace a little too much here in the final laps as they all, start to try to attack each other here. I really like where the 3 is, as long as he's able to stay patient with it and as long as he's done a good enough job of saving the fuel here, because I don't think the 50 can catch him and still maintain that
he's cutting it
the
right
fuel
now.
mileage.
Yeah, Connor Cunningham is cutting the engine right there, clutching it, bringing it back as we go out of 4. Coming up to 3 to
laps
go.
to go.
Yeah. Man, this is so crazy. We already saw Jose Ruiz. He had to go in. Here he goes once again. Still maintaining that distance though. Honeycutt falling back even a little bit.
And with them fuel saving, that's actually helped them save the tires a little bit if they've
Absolutely.
done it right. So the difference in tire wear between those if they don't run out of fuel, those drivers that came into pit road are completely out of this race. They have no chance of running them down here with 2 laps to go and 9.5 seconds back.
Yeah, I mean 7, 8, 9, and 10th are playoff drivers, but absolutely no chance for these drivers to catch up unless a caution comes out. And sweet baby Jesus, don't let that happen. I want to see this play out. Connor Cunningham, he may be a first-time winner. We're getting ready to come to the final lap when he crosses the finish line. Will we bring home that 3-car a winner tonight? Another first-time winner for 4 races in a row. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, this is our top 5 are all drivers either out of the playoffs or have been eliminated from the playoffs to this point. So none of them with anything to lose, all of them with a Hail Mary here to try to make it to the end. And I think it's going to work out. I think Connor Cunningham is going to be able to do it.
Yeah, here goes around 3 and 4. Let's bring him home. First-time winner Connor Cunningham crosses over the finish line, already celebrating. How about that? Huge congratulations to Connor Cunningham at his win here tonight at Chicagoland Speedway. He cuts it off. Stick a fork in it. He's done.
Yeah, Flitcroft able to nip Honeycutt at the line there. Micah Allard will come home in the 4th position, and Bridgman in the 5th, and Matthew Opliger, Justin Anasagak, Brendan Book, Jimmy Cocker, Jurgensmeyer, Falliker, 6 of the fastest drivers will finish outside of the top 5.
Yeah, absolutely insane race, different strategies, a lot of different things going on, but here we go. Connor Cunningham, first-time winner this season. We'll see if he's got enough fuel to celebrate. See him do some burnouts. Got Tom Flitcroft, John Honeycutt out here in the booth along with Connor Cunningham. Let's go. Get him to celebrate, do some burnouts. Huge congratulations to Connor Cunningham. Man, a lot of new faces up front from what we saw at the first part of the race. Strategy plays out. Connor Cunningham, take us through your strategy. Where did you bring it from? And were you a little scared that it wasn't going to play out the way you hoped?
I had a I had a terrible qualifying. As soon as I left, it was like 10 seconds left, so I botched that one pretty bad. So I started probably 13th, maybe 15th. So I had my buddy Matt Sizzler help me out this time by for help because I needed some kind of luck after this whole season. Throughout the race, at the start, I cold tires kicked in and I almost wrecked myself right off the rip, so that was great. So had, we were trying to think of a game plan, so I just tried to save some tires. Had to give is on stage 1 and tried to figure this car out because I had zero practice whatsoever besides the practice in this session. So in stage 2, I wanted to see what the car could do since it was the time was changing and everything was going dark. So I tried to run the fence because I didn't see that many people rip the fence. So I gave it a shot. That didn't work. So on the final stage, my crew chief said, "Hey, let's go for a saving strategy because we didn't have any speed for the leaders. So we went for the bold strategy move of I think on every caution we pitted and saved gas or got gas. Sorry. We went and then I just clutched it on every entry into the corner to save as much gas as possible to make it to the end without stopping. So that's basically my race. I was trying to chill and not kill nobody. Sorry in advance if I did.
Well,
So
yeah, you
yeah.
had a great race. At what point did you realize, hey, I might have this in the bag? First time win.
When my crew chief said the leaders were about 9 seconds back on 5 to go, and
Nice.
Honeycutt tried to catch up to me, but it was too little, too late for him. So
Well,
it is what it
great
is.
win. Yeah, great win tonight. Congratulations on your first win. You've been an SMB driver for a long, long time, but it's great to see you get a win out here on the iRacing side. So, congratulations, Connor, and hopefully there'll be more to come from you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Jordan. Looks like Mr. Tom Flitcroft out here
Yeah,
in
I have-
second, which he had some fans out here tonight again.
I have Tom Flitcroft who was trying some different strategy the entire night. Came in and took tires early around stage 1 and opted to stay out to get some track position, and then once again attempting a different strategy than the rest of the field, and this time almost working out to a victory, coming home P2. Talk about your night.
Well, I haven't been in the booth all year, and I thought I'd save it for when you're broadcasting with Frozen.
Thank you.
Thank you for the good luck. This is the best. This is the best finish I've had all season. It's been a hard year, and no, I'm happy. It's my first and only top 5 all year too. So it's been a little bit more difficult this season. I hate to do the fuel strategy thing, but when the opportunity presents itself like that, it's hard not to take it. So I wish we had a little bit more there. I was telling Honeycutt and messing around with him. I was making a little wager with him late in the race, so I'm glad I was able to just edge him there at the finish. It's a great battle between us all night. So him and I mixed it up a lot, and we were always helping each other out. If we were faster than the other one, we'd let each other go. So that was a lot of fun, and huge congrats to Connor. That's awesome, man. I don't care how you do it. A win's a win, so that's great to see.
That is Tom Flitcroft coming home P2. Let me I want to ask you something else, but I'm not sure what question I have to ask. So Again, how does it feel to kind of break through? Did that give you some confidence going forward? The rest of the season. I know it was on strategy, but hey, P2 still a P2 finish.
Should I be honest or should I?
Hey, whatever you think gives us the best ratings. I need a
You
sound
know
bite
what?
here.
I think I'm gonna go out there and win next week. This is exactly the confidence booster I needed. So you guys are all you're in for a show here the next couple of weeks to end the season. So hopefully we'll end strong, and if not, I've had some spectacular crashes this season. So either way, will be entertaining to say the least. So hopefully everybody enjoyed the show, and hopefully there aren't too many upset drivers.
Well, that is our social media team is gonna pounce all over that for some content. And congrats on the P2 finish. And back over to Frozen.
All right, we got John Honeycutt, driver for FTR, finishing out here in the top 3. You gained 9 spots for the night. Take us through your race and how you ended up here in the podium for the final part of the race here.
Yeah. Sorry for my voice. I lost it. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it short. Basically, the car did not handle well for me, so I figured with that last pit stop that we'd had going into the last stage there, Micah did pit a little early, and then I think we had a quick caution, and I decided to kind of do the same on that next caution and kind of clutch it all the way to the end. And Tom, him and I were kind of working together, staying in the back of the field and just kind of working our way through. And I was making my way back towards the middle of the pack, still trying to save fuel. And I felt like I had a good run there. And then, I don't know, for whatever reason, me and the 9 got into each other, and I lost a lot of time. So I felt like had I not got into the 9 down the front stretch and lost all that time, I think I would have had something for Connor. But congratulations to Connor, great run. We've saved a lot of fuel. Didn't think I was going to be able to do it, but we made it to the end, and I just sputtered right off of 4, and of course Tom was able to save just a little bit more than me. So, but yeah, overall it was great. It was awesome.
Very close race tonight. A lot of fun watching these drivers here at Chicagoland. Great race for Connor Cunningham, his first win of the season. So a huge congratulations. Jordan, next week we are going to be out at Iowa Speedway, I do believe. So it's going to be another fun one. A lot of racing, but man, we're coming down to the wire here. Not a lot of races left. Just 3 until we crown a champion.
Yeah, another multi-grooved racetrack, but half the size for your for your bite-sized entertainment. So should provide a lot of action. Hopefully that action is side-by-side racing and not spectacular crashes, but I guess both count as action, and we're going to see either.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, Hauling Hero. I see you out there. Thank you so much for the follow. You guys are amazing. I know the drivers appreciate all the support along with us in the booth. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next week, and happy Thanksgiving to all you guys for this week, and enjoy it. We'll see you guys next week.